Greetings, friends. It's important for Westerners to be extremely cautious when sending money to Africa. There are many fraudsters who will take advantage of you. This isn't a judgment against all Africans. I imagine most Africans are opposed to this kind of thing, and of course it's illegal. But fraud is very common in Africa. This is only the case because too many Westerners are gullible and credulous. Often, an organization like an NGO or a church can be tricked into sending money. However, though I don't have the statistics, based on my personal experiences in Africa, I think it's mostly individual women who fall for these scams. This is because a significant number of Western women search for romantic and/or sexual relationships with African men, and some of these men completely manipulate these women. This fraud takes place online. Usually the fraudsters assume a fake identity, perhaps using a photo of someone else's face. Or if they show you their real face, they won't be giving you their real name or any real facts about them. These men will slowly cultivate an emotional connection with Western women. Then, at a certain point, after a few months, they'll ask for money. They'll say something like, "Oh, I'm just in a really bad situation right now. Can you lend me some small money just so I can get out of this fix? I'll pay you right back." And of course, they need a few $1,000s. So the Western woman sends it over, usually through Western Union because something like that is less traceable than through a bank. Inevitably, they'll be asked for more money later. "Oh, just this one time," the fraudster will say again. And some of these women are so hopeful and blind that they keep sending thousands of dollars more. Obviously, this can't go on forever before the woman realizes that they've been tricked. But then the fraudster will simply disappear. He'll then assume a new identity and look for another victim. Sadly, they often succeed in draining multiple victims. Now, as I've said many times, I have some business ventures in Ghana with my very good and most trustworthy Ghanaian friend who is a good soul, but we've met some Ghanaian men who are fraudsters. The house that you see here was built entirely with fraud money. So let's have a closer look at it there. And this whole operation was started by one small and clever young man. Let's call him Mastermind. He engaged in the kind of activity I just described. He also taught one or two of his friends how to do the same thing, and who knows how many thousands of dollars they accumulated. It was enough to build this house. Though, as you may notice, the house isn't completely finished. The wall, it wasn't finished, a few other things here and there. When I was here in 2016, they were continuing to fraud people from 3 computers inside the house. And funny enough, they were even doing this when I was around. I can't prove any of this, of course, but we know. We know because Blinksman, my friend, has known Mastermind for a long time. And because Blinksman is highly respected by Mastermind, Mastermind spilled the beans. But the fraudsters have no idea that we know. We don't normally hang out with these dudes, of course. We have to be careful with everyone. Nobody can be trusted in this town. But once in a while, we visit these fraudsters. They're obviously people we have to keep at a certain distance from ourselves. But you can say that about practically everyone. The thing is, the house of these fraudsters is in a very chill place on the edge of town, and these dudes are fine enough to hang out with. Needless to say, we don't share any sensitive information with them. Notice that nice blue Corolla in that previous image here? Yes, this Corolla was also purchased with fraud money. Sometimes they've even let us, my friend and I, borrow the car, and we've gone driving around in it, and I think to myself, gee, this is a nice car, and it goes real fast, just like our Benz. Now you may notice a bunch of dudes hanging around, and you can see them in this image here, kind of not very clearly. And these are basically hangers-on. These are all dudes that may not really know what Mastermind is up to. They may have some idea, but probably not. They've just come to bask in the material success and the glow of Mastermind. And none of them are really doing much on their own. They're kind of just hanging around. I don't think they have a lot of them probably aren't employed. One more thing I'd say about these dudes is that they're not going to end up in any good place. They may get in trouble with the law. I know that they've already had to bribe the police because the police got wind of what was happening. But of course the police are corrupt, and the police simply took some of the money for themselves in return for leaving the fraudsters alone, for leaving Mastermind alone. These fraudsters have also made a lot of stupid decisions. They have no work ethic and they have no plan. It wasn't very smart locating the house so far from town, because that made it difficult to hook the power up. Worse, they've got no connection to the municipal water. See that blue water tank? Let me see if I can get the image here. Let me go back a bit. Where's the water tank? Here it is. You can see it to the side of the top right of that image. That tiny plastic water, it's a nice water tank, but that's actually their only source of water. They have no connection to the municipal water because of the far out location of the house. So every few weeks, they have to pay the Ghana National Fire Service to come by and refill the water tank. Yes, the fire service is available for hire. Indeed, they also supplied our own building project with water when we were doing construction. So to summarize, these fraudsters aren't going anywhere. Last I heard, Mastermind got into a bitter argument with his friends, and they are no longer coming by the house. So there you have it, friends. Most Africans are, they don't approve of this kind of thing. And I believe many Africans are good people, but you have to be aware of the fraud which is going on in Africa, paying for the nice car here, paying for all of this stuff. Nice, but not really well planned out. Westerners have to be extremely wary of fraud in Africa. And that's all I have to say for now. Hasta luego, amigos.